Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so dang excited. And for those of you, I thought I heard a boo when somebody said Yankees, and all I have to say is my grandpa had standards. So, just kidding. Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you actually really quick how I met Mike. I met Mike through my good friend Nick Cavuto. Nick, where are you? Are you in here? Oh, there he is, over here. And I was speaking at his event, and he's like, you got to meet this guy, Mike. And so anyway, we got a chance to meet over dinner, but we really bonded because one morning he didn't want to wake up early to go to the event. And he's like, I heard you have a car. It was almost like if I had drugs. He's like, hey, you got a car? Like, I was like, yeah. He's like, cool, can you take me tomorrow? Sure. And we bonded kind of over going through the drive-thru of Starbucks. And one of the things that he did, though, that I thought was so incredible is he showed up to my speech at the event. And he sat back and he took tons of notes, took video, and then afterwards he handed them to me. He goes, Lauren, these were your mic drop moments. He said, I want you to take these and I want you to create videos from them. From somebody who's an expert in what he does, he didn't have to do that. I didn't ask him to do that. He has such a giving heart. And I think that when you show up wanting to serve others, man, there's no better way to lead than that. And so I just want to tell you that quick story of Mike Kim because he's made a really big impact on my life. But to tell you guys a little bit about me, like he said earlier, I am expecting my first child with my husband. Thank you. We are so excited. All advice is welcome. We don't know what the hell we're doing. But we are excited for this challenge. And you know, it makes me think about chapters in our lives. And there's one chapter that led me to do the work that I do. In this particular chapter, it was actually my third game into my senior year of college. I played soccer at the collegiate level. Fell in love with it. I had offers overseas afterwards to go play in Brazil and New Zealand. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel. I'm going to play soccer. It's going to be great. Third game into my senior year, I had just come back from an injury. And this girl, she winds up. She's about to take a shot on goal. And I head it out of the way and fall to the ground. And immediately, I knew. I had just received my 5th concussion. And I get up. They take me off the field. I go get a brain scan. And I'm in the room, and the neurologist comes in, and he goes, Lauren, I don't know what to tell you, but it's not safe for you to play anymore. And if any of you guys have lost something that you loved or something has been taken away from you, you know probably how I felt in that moment. It was like my identity was stripped. But I rejected it. I was like, you know what, no. I'm like, as an athlete, I'm like, we just need a second opinion. Like, maybe you're not the one to make the decision here, you know? And he stops me and he goes, no, Lauren, you don't understand. Do you want to remember your name at 40? It like hit me like a ton of bricks. Like immediately my priorities came into perspective and I knew the decision I had to make. So I decided to no longer, play soccer. It wasn't safe, but I decided, you know what? I still want to be a part of my team. So my role just changed. I was now on the bench. And I decided I was kind of bored. So I took an extracurricular course. And I found this course in sports psychology. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is. And so I take this course. By the way, I'm the only person to sign up for it. So the teacher's like, I'm sorry, I'm not coming to class for just you. This is an independent study class now. I'm like, cool. But I fell in love with it. And what it did is it opened my eyes to this world of mental performance. And like Mike said earlier, and DK had just said, I strongly believe that mindset is not everything. We have everything within us. That'd be like telling my pitcher, if you just have a good mindset, you can make the major leagues. I'm sorry, but if I have the greatest mindset in the world, I'm never going to be able to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Let's just call it what it is. Mindset is not everything, but it impacts everything. And so whatever it is that you do, your mindset can take you to that next level. It opens doors. It allows you to do things that, in other words, would hold us back. And so when I learned this, I thought, oh my gosh, what kind of player would I have been if I would have known this? And then I thought, how many people can I help now that I do? And that is what took me down this path to do the work that I do. So I want to quickly show you this quick video. And this is the evolution of Formula One pit stops. And I just want you to see how it has evolved from the very beginning to where we are now. So as you'll see here, see the guy hammering? Standing on top of the car. He's really struggling with that back tire. Notice how long, how many pieces to the puzzle there are. Notice the difficulty to execute one small action. Notice the pressure they're under. That's how we used to pit stop. Now look at it now. And can you even catch what every person's done? Watch this. Isn't it crazy? The evolution of everything, the evolution of you and me, the evolution of sports, the evolution of systems, the evolution of our minds. You know, change is an evolutionary process, not a revolutionary event. And many of us, what we treat our outcomes like, oh, I should be good by now. Oh, I learned it, now let's execute it. And why am I not perfect? A lot of high performers, they have this feeling where I have to be perfect or I am nothing. And I want to remind you that it is an evolutionary process. So I don't know each and every one of you. I don't know your story. I don't know where you are in your journey or what goals that you want to achieve. But I want you to understand that it is an evolutionary process, that it's going to take time, because the two things people underestimate the most about the mental side of performance is how hard it's going to be and how long it's going to take. And so as you go through these next couple of days, I want you to think about that. Now, a lot of people, they come to me because they have a list of problems. And so here's some that you might recognize. Fear. You know, Lauren, I have a really hard time because I'm just so terrified to do something. Failure, self-doubt, uncertainty, discomfort, the opinions of others. Ayo, been there many times, still struggle with it. Distractions, bad outcomes. Like, Lauren, I have all these problems. But I want to kind of shift your perspective on this a little bit. The problem is rarely the problem. The problem is your relationship with the problem. What is your relationship with fear? What is your relationship with discomfort? What is your relationship with failure? What is your relationship with self-doubt? What is your relationship with bad outcomes? When you have a bad outcome, do you just sit there and beat yourself up? When you have a bad outcome, do you completely get disappointed? Do you give up? Do you walk away? Or do you look yourself in the mirror and go, what the hell am I going to do about it? Yeah, that sucked. Cool, what do I need to improve? Yeah, that failure was terrible. I never want to feel that way again. Okay, so what's in my control and what wasn't? Many times people come to me because they want more success. And success is great, don't get me wrong. I mean, come on, like results are of utmost importance. But what truly separates good from great is your ability to sustain it. Can you be good longer than a day? Tiger Woods actually said this. It's one of my favorite quotes. He's like, anyone can be good for a day, blow away the field. Okay, great. Can you be good for a week? Can you be good for a month? Can you be good for a year? Can you be good for a decade? Can you be good for a decade straight? Now that's what begins to truly separate what is great. And so I want to tell you a story actually of this golfer I worked with for a long time, and she was incredible at what she did. But there was this pattern we began to notice. Again, talk about problem. She had a problem, but that wasn't the problem. And so whenever she would start a round, everything was good. I mean, like the first 9 holes was like amazing until she started leading the field. Kind of backwards, right? Okay, everything's good until she started leading the tournament. And then there was this thing that happened. You kind of noticed her foot come off the gas. And it wasn't a complacency play. It was a protection play. Man, haven't you done that before? Where like you work so hard to get the result that you want, and then suddenly all you want to do is protect it. And then where do your results go? Usually down from there. And so I want to explain actually what this is. And I call this playing to win versus playing not to lose. Okay, playing to win versus playing not to win. When she started the tournament, she was playing to win. She's like, oh, I'm here to win this. And the second she actually started winning, she goes, oh shoot, now I just don't want to lose it. And the mindset shift is very interesting. So I want to show you kind of the difference between this. So playing to win, when we're playing to win, we understand that mistakes are a part of the process. Okay, when we're playing to win, we're willing to take on challenge and risk. We play with confidence and energy. We play proactively and aggressive. Now, when we're playing not to lose, we're scared to make a mistake. We play it safe. We play with tension, and we hold back. We play hesitant and reactive. But you want to know the interesting part about both of these? They both have the same goal: to win. They both want to win. The difference is one performs from a place of power, while the other from a place of fear. Okay, I'm going to say that again. One performs from a place of power, the other from a place of fear. And so really quick, I want you to share with your table, I'm going to give you 60 seconds, to talk about a time where you have noticed the shift in mindset, either from playing to win and playing not to lose, or playing not to lose and playing to win. Okay, ready? Go. All right, go ahead and wrap that up. Okay, so everybody in here, it seems like everybody has experienced this. Yes. Okay, how many of you have experienced playing not to lose? How many of you have experienced playing to win? Okay, so we've got a lot of experiences in here. And the thing is that we're not one or the other. We shift. We shift, and we shift based on what's most important to us. The degree of pressure that you feel in any given situation is directly correlated to how much you care. If you don't care, you won't feel pressure. If you care, you're going to feel a lot of it. And you know what pressure is? Pressure is the signal that tells you something you care about is on the line. Okay, pressure is the signal that tells you that something you care about is on the line. And so no wonder your brain goes into survival mode and it goes, we just got to protect what we got. We can't lose this. But let me tell you, how many of you show up as your best playing not to lose? The point is that when it comes to performance, playing with protection, playing hesitant, playing with fear, while it doesn't guarantee success, it puts you in the best position for it. And so if we can train you to put your mind in a position to play to win, to develop the relationship with discomfort, to develop a relationship with uncertainty, to develop a damn good relationship with fear, how would that feel? How would that feel? Better. There we go. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to Alex Honnold. How many of you guys have seen Free Solo? Okay. Woo! All right, cool. If you haven't, that's your homework. When you go home, you need to go watch this documentary. So Alex Honnold is a free solo climber. And in this photo, as you'll see, free solo climbing is climbing without a rope. Yeah, I know. Trust me. I will warn you, your palms will sweat watching this documentary. And so he's known for climbing one of the largest rock faces without a rope. And he's very interesting in a lot of ways. But one of the things that I love when he talks about performance is, he is a poster child for preparation. And I want you to listen to this quick video, and he talks about the difference. Okay, the difference between risk versus consequence. Okay, risk versus consequence. No, okay, it's fine. I'll tell you guys the story because it's good. So essentially what he talks about is in his climb, he goes, there's a difference. He said, I like to differentiate the difference between risk and consequence. He said, the consequence of me falling off the rock is death. Like, if I fall, I'm gonna die. He's like, I'm very aware of this. But he said, I can mitigate the risk through preparation. I can actually change the chances of that happening through my preparation to get there. And so he said, after preparing for several years, the risk was approaching zero. While the consequence didn't change, the risk was there. And so I want you to see that really quick, because when we look at fear, a lot of the times we take on the responsibility of the consequence. We take on that, and it feels hopeless at times. It feels like we have no control over this outcome. And so a lot of the times, that's why we just shy away from it. We avoid it to some degree, or we go in and we just keep our fingers crossed, great, I think we got this. And so how do we mitigate the risk? Well, I'm going to teach you a quick strategy today where you can do, it's a two-step strategy. Okay, and the first one, in psychology, we call this mental contrasting. So what this is, it's contrasting what you want to have happen, okay, your plan, with the reality. What could potentially get in the way of you executing that goal, you executing that plan? So what this is going to look like, if I go, okay, I want to come up here, and I want to speak to all of you. What could go wrong? Audio, visual. What do you know? Several things could go wrong. And so what you would do here, a lot of people say oh, don't think negatively. BS. That's not natural, okay? Our brains are wired for negative bias. The question is, how do you use it? Do you use it to beat up on yourself and just be negative? Because that ain't productive. But do you use it to plan what the hell you're going to do about it if you run into a road closure? Now that's a good way to use it. And so what you do is you create a list. So if this is your goal, I want you to say, okay, what could go wrong? What could stop me? It may be your own limiting beliefs. It may be you. But as soon as you identify it, now we can do something about it. So once you create that list, the second piece is using implementation intentions. This is simply if-then planning. Now, some of you may have heard of if-then planning before, but the reason why I love this is because it creates a connection in your brain between what could happen, or what if that thing happens, and the behavior you wish to follow. Mental performance is often about accepting our reality. You don't have to like it, but accepting your reality and choosing your response. If you can improve your response, let me tell you, you're going to improve your reality. But you can't always choose it. And so, if audiovisual doesn't work, then it's all right. I know this video well enough. I'll tell it. If I start to doubt myself, then I'm going to remind myself I'm the fucking best mental performance coach in the world. But it has to work for you. So my question is that once you decide what are those things that could get in the way and you bring reality to the table, how the hell are you going to mitigate that? How the hell are you going to respond to it? How are you going to look it in the face and respond at the highest level that you possibly can? Because that's what creates high-performing individuals. Again, mental performance is not about changing your reality. It's about responding to it. Mental performance is not everything. It impacts everything. And so when we understand that when we can improve this aspect of performance, everything we do levels up. And one of the things that levels up is our confidence to manage. And I love to use this, I forget what the heck, parable or this phrase that I heard, and it's so good because it describes confidence to a T. You know, a lot of people come to me and they're like, I have no confidence. And confidence is one of those things where it's a cherry on top if you got it, but it ain't the whole sundae. And so I like this quick phrase because it describes the confidence I try to instill in the athletes I work with, in the executives, in the companies that I work with, because it's based in fact. It's based in the reality. It's not based in these great quotes that just circle around in the air and you're like, yeah, I get it, but what do I do about it? It's not tangible. This is a tangible definition. And so a bird lands on a branch, not because of its confidence in the branch, but in its confidence and its ability to fly. You're going to land on some branches. You're going to do all the research, and they're going to break every once in a while. The question isn't, did I pick the right branch? The question is, do you know how to fly? And when you implement even just these two simple strategies to start developing your relationship with fear, discomfort, with things that might get in your way from executing the things that you want, what you're doing is you're increasing your competence. You're increasing your ability to deal with it and manage it if and when it happens. So you know what that means? You increase your confidence in your ability to fly. And that's true mental toughness right there. And so I would just like to end with this. I really got into this work because I was the person that needed it the most. I practice this every single day. I have people like Mike Kim and Nick Cavuto and some people in this room that are my personal mirrors that are willing to give me feedback and tell me when I'm not operating at my highest. And one of the things I encourage you to do is to find some of those people here. Every single person in this room wants to see you win, including me. And none of us are perfect because change and improvement is an evolutionary process, not a revolutionary event. Thank you.